Today we're going to open a conversation on a super hard topic. Um, I'm going to say things that people are going to be very upset about. They won't understand. Uh, they're going to think that it's ridiculous. But this is for people who have an ear to hear it. I really don't care about what people feel about what I say. If they don't agree, it makes no difference. The truth is the truth in the spirit. Now let's talk about racism and what's going on with all these crazy things that are happening. It's very real. People are getting hurt. I'm a black African American myself. I've experienced so much, but that doesn't matter right now. What matters is we talk about what actually is happening, which is this is a giant distraction. That's really what it is. A giant distraction. I'm going to give you guys an analogy. Let's say you guys are working for a giant company, okay? And the CEO has favor for you. And you are moving up in the ranks. He's making sure, he or she, they're making sure that you are taken care of in that company, okay? But you have haters, and you have people who are trying to destroy you, but you keep moving through anyway. Now, don't you think it would be kind of crazy if you were the person with that kind of favor in that company and you're moving forward either way based on your relationship with the CEO, and you suddenly decide, I'm going to start focusing on all these people who are trying to attack me and stop me, and I'm actually now going to spend my hours at work campaigning, fighting, and doing things that really stop your work. Now, what does it matter if the CEO is actually for you and you're moving forward and he is covering you? What does it matter who's trying to stop you? Okay, that doesn't matter anymore. In fact, the people who are trying to help you and band together with you and all this, and we're going to fight this together, all these people that say you get all these different departments, they're fighting with you. Now and they spend their days doing that in the company. Now what they're doing is they're all wasting their time, because now after everything's said and done, the people who are still not going to like you, the people who don't like you, still won't like you. Okay, they won't like you, they won't respect you, they'll still try to destroy you. But if you fight in the wrong way, you won't get anything done. And now the CEO cannot use you because you have not completed the tasks that you're supposed to complete it properly, and now it just disqualifies you because you're fighting in the wrong areas. So racism, that's how racism is. See, I'm not concerned about any glass ceilings that are held about me at all, because nobody can hold a glass ceiling over me. Nobody can. You know why? Because I know the CEO. The CEO is God. Jesus Christ is too powerful for somebody to stop me because they don't like my skin color, they don't like anything, they don't like my clothes, they don't like this, they don't like my personality, and they don't like me for no reason. They just choose not to like that. All that stuff is stupid. It makes no difference. I actually argue that if you're in the will of God, it's impossible for you to even die before your time. You cannot. You have so much protection in that situation that it's impossible. Nobody can stop you. Okay, now, if we all thought like this, and we all got to the point where we're seeking relationship with God, then He would take care of these things. He would make sure to make it impossible that we don't succeed. He would make sure that there was no glass ceiling that could be held over us. In fact, He will actually make sure that the glass ceilings work in our favor. So, and then also He'll make your enemies at peace with you, because they won't be able to stop you. So this is my take on the racist situation in the world, in our country. There's many forms of racism. I mean, there's so many forms of discrimination that it's insane. And each one is a distraction. Every single one. It's a distraction for the people who are trying to oppress people. It's a distraction for people who are actually being oppressed. And it's a total distraction for people who are actually trying to help fervently and not seeking relationship with God. The only way that I would say that we should be scrambling in that direction, and really it's not even scrambling, it would be methodically, as if we have a relationship with God and He charges us with that mission to do it with strategy. Now, the thing is, He does have missions like that, and that's why it doesn't work. That's why we are not moving in huge strides, and we're still dealing with stuff from so many years ago. It's because people are still marching with a strategy that was 50 years ago, and not saying, God, I'm upset about this, I'm mad, I hate it, and I know you hate it. So I'm going to go with you and let's talk about this together, and maybe He can give a strategy so that it can be fixed forever. Okay, now there's still going to be people who are racist even with God's strategy, but the point is His mission will go through, and His mission will be successful. And you'll know what His mission is. And even when we do face racism, when we do face discrimination, and people trying to hold us back, and all these horrible things, we will succeed even so, and God will be very happy. And so, for people out there who have a passion towards that situation and want to just fix it, talk to God. For non-Christians who have a passion and they're just like, they have this righteous anger for Black Americans or the Native Americans or Asians or any kind of minority, be a Christian, go to the counselor, go through your training, and let God teach you how He plans to help, to give you the power to change the situation for Him. And for Christians, if you're so angry, don't march before you talk to God. Don't just start marching because everybody's marching. It doesn't make any sense. It actually does nothing. There's still major glass ceilings after everybody marched. Now I understand unity and we feel good, but feel good isn't the point. Feel good and I can look and see, my brothers are with me. We're walking, we're marching. No. That's not the point. The point is to be effective. The point is to actually come and say, listen, we have a strategy for this. And if God says to march, we're marching. If God says don't do anything, we're not doing anything. If God says do this, do this. If God says do that, do that. And it will work. And that's the process. And even if it takes time, it'll be effective. And sometimes it's really important when we're getting attacked, and this is a whole nother conversation, not to react. Okay, when you're dealing with a bully and somebody's patronizing you, sometimes you just ignore it and be effective. Okay, that's the whole point. And this is how God is a lot of the times. So Satan's agenda is to distract us. Okay, now the question is, what are we being distracted from? That's a really good question because, wow, this is a big problem. Okay, we are getting distracted from God's purpose. We're getting distracted from God's relationship, our relationship with God. All the emotions that flare up, it clouds our hearing, it clouds our judgment, and it clouds strategy. We cannot have strategy like this. So I'm led to tell you guys about this because He told me to. Now, I'm really not concerned about people who don't agree with me because it just doesn't matter. I know these truths, these are principles, just spiritual principles. And that's the reason why we're going to the higher level, which is the spirit. Because the lower level, which is the flesh, can't be fixed like that. It's actually impossible. So these are things to think about. It is a distraction, and you have to think, what am I being distracted from? What am I personally, as a culture? And one last thing. When you get attacked like this, it's because you're valuable. Very, very valuable. That's why the attacks happen. So let's not have a chip on our shoulder and just walk around hurt and mad. Let's be very happy that we have power and that we actually have a mission and that God has commissions for us. And For everybody who even wants to make a difference, it's wonderful. Seek God, get a relationship with Jesus Christ, become his friend so that he can give you the strategy to actually fix it. And he will unite many strategies at the same time because he's awesome. That's what he does. He is not limited by these kind of things. He will unite all of our strategies together and we will be very, very powerful and nothing can stop it. So marinate on these thoughts. I'm sure I'll make more videos about this topic, and there's so many things to kind of delve into. For people who say, oh, he's so young, how does he know? Oh, all this and that. He doesn't. Listen, I'm going off my relationship with God, which supersedes anything that someone would come to me and say, that's not true. Or, you don't know. No, I have heard from God on this. And that's what it is. And I've seen it in my own life. No glass ceiling could hold anything back when God's doing it. Nothing. He'll use it for your benefit. Don't forget that. Hail Jehovah.